What's going on? It's Ash, and this is my first episode of Ash Talks Too Much. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoy. When I first started the concept of this, I had something totally different in mind for what I was going to be doing for my first podcast. As the last couple of weeks have unfolded in this country, I felt it necessary to use my platform to do something a little bit different. So today I am joined by three really fantastic underground artists to talk about what's going on in the world, kind of our thoughts and feelings, and what we think we can do to hopefully make a difference. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys come back for the next episode and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you again.
I'm JP. I rep LSP and GRE, and my brother Claas from LSP is also on there. If you want to say whatever, Claas.
Just what's up to everybody, Claas, representing LSP, TCH.
And then SkitzoMichigan is on here.
I'm your boy, SkitzoMichigan. I'm also representing LSP.
I wish you were on board.
For real.
I tour with the company. It's just like family to me, honestly. But I'm an underground hip hop artist. Started doing shows in 2011. I just been pretty grinding out here every day.
Thank you guys for joining. I'm really excited to kind of have an open dialogue conversation with everybody and kind of the whole hip hop community underground about what's going on in the world, what's going on in our country, what's going on in the street, what we can do in the underground as artists, as fans, as humans, world a better place, what you guys are experiencing, what you have experienced in the underground, and how it pertains to what's going on. So if anybody can start about feeling right now, if you want to start out and kind of talk about emotions going on with everything that's got going on in the world right
now. Now that we got Claas, bring up what we wanted to talk about earlier. Artists still promoting music and not really just respecting the time that we're living in right now and how each of us feels. I mean, me personally, I understand we got it, but the money is nowhere. It'll be there, and it will pass, time, some wounds. So I know that this will pass, and then there'll be a time for us to blast in with all, thing. But right now, everybody is showing their true colors. We're figuring out really who really has your back, who is just, parasiting off the culture, and who is really, who loves you, like who really, when I go out on the show now, I got to go because I've seen what you've been doing during this time, so now I know you.
in a big way. I think with social media being a big part of what the underground is right now. That's what the underground is. I mean, one, we're in quarantine, so that brought us even all closer together, I think. And then for this kind of huge event to happen, highlight the racial injustice in this country in such a way, opportunity to come together and unite and speak up and all use our platforms. Hey, maybe we only have 5,000 or 2,000 or 1,000 fans, but they're different people. They see us coming together. That's not what I thought happened. That was damn disappointing. What I started to see here or there, how the black squares go up for a day, and then I saw the music page, and I feel like we really missed an opportunity to give voices to the underground during that time to come together. Just none of the labels seem to take advantage of it in a big way. The bigger labels that had the followers, you know what I mean, to be able to speak organized things. None of that has happened yet. It's really flabbergasted. So how do you feel about about seeing this happen in the underground that felt like such a tight community that feels kind of, I don't know, I'm disheartened by what I'm seeing.
I mean, I feel like we're seeing who's really in it just for the money or just for the self clout, and who's not down for the cause of hip hop. Like, I've been outspoken on my social media the last couple weeks now, and I really feel like that if you're involved in hip hop, regardless of what your race, background, religion, whatever, anything, you got to understand the pioneers of this music that you're doing. And you have to understand that the pioneers of this music right now are, you know, black people are dying every day. It's been happening. It's just on the news right now. We're being able to see videos of it right now. And I think that's why you're seeing thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people worldwide coming out, protesting, saying things online, donating to charities, doing whatever they can. But when you see musicians who are eating off the hip hop culture but can't speak out when black people are dying, I'm offended by that, And I put up a post saying, if you're white and involved in hip hop, understand that we're guests of this art form. We did not create this art form. We contribute to it, absolutely, but we're not the creators of this art form. And so if something is going on that's affecting the black community, it's up to us, if we're part of hip hop, to speak out and say something and do something. And so when I see white rappers, white labels, whatever, that are out there making money off the art form, but when something happens, they're not speaking out. That makes me upset. That makes me upset. And that's why I was saying before, like, I don't even feel right trying to be out there promoting or pushing my own stuff or trying to make money this month, because I think there's bigger things going on right now. And that's just me. I'm not saying anyone else needs to do that, but I'm saying for me, like, I don't feel right being out there right now trying to say, hey, buy my stuff, check out my music, this and that.
I think as far as the label thing goes, I think unfortunately there's always going to be like a big business mentality in that some of these labels, whether they really feel like they want to associate with the cause or not, there's always going to be somebody behind them that tells them to kind of hold off just because, it's a machine. And it's unfortunate, but, that's what it is. I mean, there's a lot of people that, just don't want to alienate themselves, with other people. And I mean, I get it, but then also to a point, I won't ever understand it because, like right now, some of this shit's just bigger than, music. Like, I mean, like you guys have been saying, like, I mean, for the most part, my social media has been, clearly defined as this. Like, I mean, I'm more than very prominent on what side I am on and what I feel about this. And I've made, more than clearly known. As far as it goes with promoting, like, obviously I'm not really promoting that much, but I do understand that there's probably a lot of people that this is a lot. This is a lot to take in, and they probably still want some sort of semblance of normality. So, I may joke and I may make a post about something normal, in between the fucking 800, post about what's going on, just to kind of give people something else to look at, because I mean, it is overwhelming. If you're not fully mentally prepared for what's going on right now, I'm sure it's fucking taxing and overwhelming to you. For the rest of us, like, especially like me, JP, and Schizo, I mean, we've all been in this so long, and we're all at an age to where we clearly see what's happening, and I've been very vocal on what I see happening, and how it's they're trying to push it as something that it's not fully. Like, Black Lives Matter is a major thing, and everybody needs to understand that. But at the same time, while that's going on, everybody needs to understand that behind that, they're taking away basic human rights at this point. Like, I mean, we literally have a constitutional right to peaceful protest, and they're literally using, like, one kid throwing a rock through a window and turning it into a quote unquote riot. And now all of a sudden they're beating kids. I mean, it happened here in Dallas. Like, they fucking ambushed kids on a bridge. Like, a bunch of people that literally just wanted to protest, and when the cops ran up on them, they asked if they could go home. Like, they didn't want any trouble, and the cops literally boxed them in, tear gassed them, beat them, and arrested all of them. Just the other day, they had to let go of 647 people that they arrested because there was no warranted reason to arrest these people. And I feel like if you're not like thinking about it overall, like you're missing something major here because people are dying, people are getting hurt, people are being attacked, and like this isn't what our country was built on. Like we're not, like, we have rights as human beings, and to just watch them be taken away from us and us treated like dirt, like that's not the system. That's not what the Constitution was built on. And we the people is a real thing. We have a voice. I think people need to know their history and really take a stance on this. And I mean, if bigger labels don't want to, then fuck it. Like, it is what it is. But there's a lot of us in the underground that, like, we're taking our stance, and like, I don't give a shit if I lose fans. Like, I don't. Like, I mean, this is bigger than that. This is more important.
It is in such a big way. It affects everybody. That's the one thing.
But I also see videos of cops protesting with people, and I protested the other day. I looked around the crowd. It was majority Caucasian in the crowd, and majority LGBT and a small amount of black people. Honestly, part of me felt some kind of way, like this is our fight, but we know our lives matter, so we don't have to walk around telling black people. We have to tell our Caucasian brothers and sisters to tell their friends, because they're close, obviously they get it. So understand, but it's your friends. Don't. It's not through a Trump supporter. It's not because you're buying supporters. It's just that you feel one person is less than human because of the steps you have to. Unless you.
For me, that's why I'm on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, I normally was not on Twitter before, but it seems like I'm seeing most of the truth popping up on Twitter. A lot of other more prominent hip hop artists, or political people, or just your average person. They're out with their cell phone filming. You're getting more actual news that way than you are tuning in. I mean, there's some networks I watch, but everything is slanted for ratings. You know what I mean? And we know this. So I'm on Twitter. I'm looking at seeing what the communities are posting, the videos they're posting, because that gives me a bird's eye view of what's really going on. That's how I've been trying to stay up to date with, what's really going on.
I think the best thing about Twitter as well is that it seems to be the most in real time, like, raw emotion social media there is. Like, news is going to be garnered to, like JP said, to what ratings are. Facebook to a point is the same.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times it's thought out. And I mean, Instagram's not really built, for conversation. Twitter has so much raw emotion. People see something, post something. Like, it's so in real time that it's hard to hide, shit on Twitter. So I think that's the benefit of Twitter right now, is like, people are calling out their systems, their mayors, their governors, their police forces. I mean, people are like, posting videos and finding all these ways to, like, get in. I mean, I was just talking today, like, I don't really think it's the best thing ever, but cancel culture is kind of a wild thing to watch. I mean, these people, like if somebody does something real, like, fucked up, like, they will find you. Like, and I mean, it is insane how quickly.
I think that shit.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't dig it. I'm just saying it's just kind of wild, because the problem is cancel culture has it has a negative side, because there's a lot of times where they're finding the wrong person, and they might try to do a bunch of stuff to cancel that person. You know what I mean? And like, so it has its highs and lows. But on the flip side, like, it's insane to watch that train.
Vote, at the election booth. And that's one way you get people to listen to you. But the other is we vote with our dollar. And I guarantee if everyone who is out here and really wants to make a change, if you start voting with your dollar, that means putting money into the pockets of people who want to create change, but it also means not putting it in the pockets of people who are supporting those politicians and those ideas that we don't agree with. Because if you just say, well, I can't change the world, I'm still gonna, I like shopping here, or I like buying this, or I like doing that, and you don't stop to think about who are they donating to, what are they about, what are the policies as far as their own employees, if you don't stop and think about that and you just blindly give your money away, right, then you're not really affecting change. You can be in the streets all you want, yelling and screaming and posting stuff online and all that kind of stuff. But if you're not actively putting your money into the pockets of people who are going to make change and not giving it to people who are doing the things that we don't approve of, and if you're not voting, I know a
I
lot
mean,
of
my final thought is everybody that is doing something, continue to do, what you're doing, whether you can get out there to march, whether you can post online, whether you can donate, I mean, just continue to do whatever you can to, spark change. Hopefully you inspire somebody who like currently isn't doing anything. Maybe they'll see you doing something and feel like, oh, especially when it comes to like people like, me, JP, and Schizo, being artists, there might be a kid out there who's afraid to speak his mind, because he's just a random person. And I mean, I'm not saying like we're anything big, but I am saying that because we have a platform, maybe somebody seeing us speak our mind, even if they just retweet our stuff, that means that they're trying and they're now involved. And that's going to involve the people that follow them. And it's just, it grows and it grows. I just think, as long as we're all trying to do something, then we can realistically, change things, and it may take a long time and it may seem like shit's not changing, but that doesn't mean it's not, as we've seen the last couple weeks. Like things are happening, people are, things are starting to, resonate. Like people can't hide anymore. People are being called out. So I think, at this point, this is clearly gone beyond what everybody was calling for, because immediately everybody wanted the cops that were a part of the, the killing to be held responsible, and they have been, so far to this point, and this is still going. So clearly people want more, and we desire more, and we're not just going to allow them to put 4 guys who did this to one person in jail when this has been an ongoing thing for a long time. Like, so this needs to be, bigger, to the point where we're forcing the media to cover this shit, where they don't have a choice because there is no other news cycle. This is all that is in the news. So, as far as it goes, I just hope people continue to push and speak their mind, and, don't think about the residual effect. Just get your thoughts out there, because it may help somebody else get their thoughts out at the end of the day.
Yeah, great point. That's a great point. I really, and if I had a last thought, it would be a little bit to piggyback what both you guys said. I really like what JP said about making sure your dollar shows your power.
Yes.
Because if you continue to spend with Gucci and Fendi and places like this who don't support your community, then you're basically feeding the fire for them to, set your house on blaze. You're basically just giving them all the ammunition they need. And to what Claas was saying, to keep an open line of conversation and to be the voice for those who might want to support Black Lives Matter, but because their family probably won't speak to them again, they're afraid to speak up and have a conversation with maybe their dad about it, but they can talk to us and talk to their, artists. Because the one thing about me, JP, and Claas, yeah, we have a platform, but we're also approachable. I've seen both of these guys respond to people online and have conversations with people right there in their Twitter feed, right there in their Instagram storyline. So that allows us to be approachable and people to talk to us. So as long as people like us are willing to look at everyone's side of the story, because everyone is not growing up, in the culture that some Black people are. Some people are really still oblivious to what's going on. But as long as they're willing to have an open conversation to someone who can talk to them about, a different perspective, the other side of town and what's going on, then I think, each, one grain of sand at a time can build the beach. One conversation at a time can start the movement and start the change. And what we're doing right now is, justification of just that. So, that would be my final thought. A little bit of what both my brothers just said, because those were some great points, for real.